We know ourselves. Privately, I know how they talk. They don't even believe in this system. That's the unfortunate thing about Nigeria.
Prompter.
Is he going to do the same thing he has said he will do? I just believe and hope.
This is coming as the Independent National Electoral Commission had rejected the call by the People's Democratic Party to remove the resident electoral commissioner in Edo State, Anubum Onoha, ahead of the September 21st, 2024 governorship elections. Candidate of the People's Democratic Party for the September 21st governorship election in Edo State, Dr. Asue Igodalo, has filed a 20 billion naira defamation suit against Senator Adams Oshomole over comments on Plan Well scheme. Igodalo, through his counsel, Ayo Ashala San and Associates, also sought an immediate and unqualified retraction and apology for the false, defamatory and malicious comments, which should be published in at least 2 national television networks and 3 nationally circulating newspapers. The PDP candidate said that the allegations by Oshomole are baseless, false and malicious, describing them as another of such defamatory fabrications and statements made by the senator representing Edo North Senatorial District in the recent past. According to him, the fabrication of the unfounded and false story is a figment of Oshomole's imagination intended to denigrate his good character and reputation for the political purpose of advancing the sinking fortunes of Oshomole's party and candidate in the forthcoming gubernatorial elections in Edo State. He also demanded that, on consequence of the foregoing, an immediate and unqualified retraction and apology for the false, defamatory and malicious statements, which should be published in at least 2 national television networks and 3 nationally circulating newspapers, and also demanded an immediately institute appropriate proceedings against him for damages in the sum of 20 billion naira for the false, malicious, irresponsible and damaging statements made against him without any foundation whatsoever in the fact. A new commissioner of police for Ebonyi State, CP Antonia Adako Uche Anya, has assumed duty. The 27th CP of the state assumed duty on Tuesday at the command's headquarters in Abakaliki and hails from Wangele local government area of Imo State. A statement issued by the State Police Public Relations Officer, DSP Joshua Okando, said that Uche Anya has occupied various key positions in the Nigerian Police Force and joined the Nigerian Police Force as a cadet assistant superintendent of police on the 1st of November 1991 and has served meritoriously in various roles across the country. CP Uche Anya has attended several advanced courses, including the Technical Leadership Command Course, Strategic Leadership Command Course, Policy Support and Implementation Course, Peace Support Operations Course, and Higher Defense and Strategic Studies Course, and a Fellow of the National Defense College. CP Uche Anya is also a member of the professional bodies such as the Nigerian Bar Association, the International Association of Women Police, the International Association of Chiefs of Police, the National Institute of Police Studies, and the National Nigerian Institute of Management. The CP expressed her dedication to efficient policing across Ebonyi State and urged for collaboration from the police, from the public, and various stakeholders. Lagos State Environmental Protection Agency has unsealed Donald's Fast Food, a restaurant in the Lekki area owned by nightlife businessman Cubana Chief Priest. This is coming after LASEPA earlier sealed the restaurant due to persistent noise pollution and other environmental infractions. The Commissioner, Ministry of the Environment and Water Resources, Tokumbo Wahab, in a post on Tuesday, said that the business proprietor has signed an undertaking to stick to the environmental laws of the state, while the Lagos State government continues to show commitment to ensuring safe environment for all Lagos people. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State have reaffirmed his administration's commitment to strengthening cooperation with the People's Republic of China in key areas such as renewable energy, healthcare, and education. Sanwo-Olu disclosed this at the 75th anniversary celebration of the held on Monday at Lekki, Lagos. The governor, represented by his deputy, Dr. Obafemi Hamzat, praised China as a valuable partner and friend whose cooperation had unlocked new potentials in the sub-Saharan region and highlighted the successful collaboration between Lagos State and China, which had driven significant infrastructure developments in the state, and also cited projects including the Lekki Deep Sea Port, Lekki Free Trade Zone, and Lagos-Ibadan Railway as examples of the positive outcomes of this cooperation. He said that the cooperation has enhanced economic capacities, created jobs, and improved the quality of life for thousands of Nigerians, and also commended the Chinese community in Lagos for promoting cultural diversity and enriching the state's social fabric, adding that the growth of Chinese language schools, cultural centers, and businesses had contributed to the state's vibrant diversity. The governor described China's transformation over the past 75 years as extraordinary, overcoming challenges to become a global leader in technology, manufacturing, and economic growth, and hailed China's story as a symbol of resilience, vision, and commitment. Ondo State chapter of the People's Democratic Party has of intimidation on the November 2024 governorship elections. For discovery of alleged plans by the All Progressive Congress to harass the opposition parties in the state. The party candidate Abuola Ajayi, who disclosed this at the PDP youth program, the state capital, advised them that they must not allow any reflection to frustrate them, and they must conquer poverty through their votes. Abuola said that the youth were already irritated by the development in the country, adding that their anger was already built up and ready for positive change through their votes. The Director General of the PDP Campaign Council in Ondo State Government Election, Dr. Eddie Olufesan, provide a platform for the people to send the APC-led government packing. Federal High Court in Abuja has vacated an ex parte order which restrained the Independent National Electoral Commission from releasing the National Voters Register to the Kwara State Independent Electoral Commission for the purpose of conducting local government elections in the state. The order issued on July the 29th was lifted by Justice Peter Alifu on the ground that it had expired by the provisions of the law, having lasted for more than 14 days. In a ruling on Monday on the request by Kwara SIEC for lifting of the order, Justice Lifu granted with J.J. Usman, a senior advocate of Nigeria, that the order ought to be set aside in line with the provisions of the law, while Justice Lifu dismissed the request by the People's Democratic Party to commit the chairman of the Kwara State Independent Electoral Commission, Okanlonwo Baba, to prison on allegations of violation of valid court order. The judge is the request on the ground that the contempt of court charge initiated against the electoral body chairman was not served on contemnor as required by law, and held that since contempt charge is quash criminal charge and ought to have been served personally on the Kwara SIEC chairman and not through any other party or person. The judge said that the failure of the PDP to serve the contempt charge on Baba in line with the provisions of the law was fatal to the request, which the judge said violated Section 36 of the 1999 Constitution by denying the contempt nor fair hearing, adding that from the record of the court, there was no evidence of personal service on Baba, while at the same time, there was no evidence of substituted service obtained from the court to serve the contemnor through substituted means. Kogi State government has warned against any form of sexual harassment across the various tertiary institutions in the state. The Kogi State Commissioner for Education, Wemi Jones, who disclosed this, gave the warning on Tuesday at a meeting between the Ministry of Education and heads of tertiary education institutions on the state level adoption of the model anti-sexual harassment policy in tertiary institutions in Lokoja. Jones argued that sexual harassment has eaten deep into the fabrics of the Nigerian society. The present administrations have put up machineries to apprehend anyone involved in sexual harassment in Kogi State, adding that the objective of the meeting is to facilitate state-level and adopt the model anti-sexual harassment policy and secure the buy-in of institutional heads on the integration of campus safety initiative framework. He also said that the Federal Ministry of Education has commenced a program with state commissioners of education, independent corrupt practices and other related offenses commission, and the Gender Mobile Initiative as a way of ensuring that we reduce and totally eliminate sexual harassment, especially on our institutions, because that is where it happens the most. Jones said that there is need to come up with a robust document that will ensure a conducive learning environment across schools in the state. Troops of the Nigerian Army have killed 2 terrorists and recovered weapons during an operation conducted in Kaduna State. The troops, according to a credible source, laid an ambush for the terrorists who were moving along the Benin-Gware Manini axis, and according to a post, the ambush led to a fierce gun battle between the soldiers and the terrorists. The army said it had remained ready in its mission to rid the country of terrorism and ensure the safety of all citizens. National Emergency Management Agency has confirmed the rescue of 5 persons and recovery of 9 bodies from the boat accident that occurred in Mashaya Madaga River in Kumi local government area of Zamfara State. NEMA said that the boat involved in the incident was conveying over 40 passengers and crewmen when it capsized as a result of overload and high river currents. A statement in Abuja by the head of the press unit, Manzo Ezekiel, the agency said following the accident, rescuers were mostly local divers and fishermen mobilized, while condoling with the government and people of Zamfara State over the incident. The Director General of NEMA, Zubaida Umar, advised boat operators to adhere to the conduct of their activities, and communities situated downstream along the river channel have been alerted to look out for bodies that may be floating to locations while rescue operations continues. NEMA said that its Sokoto Operation Office, in conjunction with Zamfara State Emergency Management Agency, Gumi local government authorities, community leaders, the Red Cross, and other stakeholders are involved in the operation and carried out an assessment of of the disaster. Unidentified gunmen have killed 5 persons in the Mba community of Bokos local government area of Plateau State. A statement by the chairman, Bokos Cultural Development Council. Cultural Development Council Vanguard Famashun Fudang said that the attack occurred when some youths were in transit with the local government area, adding that the harmless and unarmed youths were attacked on their way from Iba town to Ko village along a bypass and cycling Yelwa Nono village by fleeing terrorists on motorcycles. Who were initially repelled by the military from the surrounding mountains. The group condemned the attack, leading to the killing of 5 innocent young men in the Mbal community, despite prior intelligence reports of suspected terrorist influx into the area, and also expressed concerns on continuous unprovoked attacks, which are perceived as calculated attempts at evicting the people from their ancestral homes and taking over the land. The management of Bokos Local Government Council, led by the Director of Personnel Management, Christy Loyi, confirmed the incidents and wished the families of affected victims with assurances that security would be reinforced in the local government area. Suspected cholera outbreak has emerged, killing at least 4 persons and hospitalized 2 persons in the Gujba ward, Gujba local government area of the state. The Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Gujba local government office, said that a total of 45 people were recorded with signs and symptoms of cholera disease, out of which 4 deaths were recorded and 2 were admitted following a devastating flood that ravaged some parts of the state. While health experts advocate that there is a need for proper hygiene to prevent outbreaks of diseases like cholera, it was gathered that the World Health Organization had directed the local government area facilitator for collection of water samples for investigation. When contacted, the State Commissioner, Ministry of Health and Social Services, Dr. Muhammad Lawal Ghana, said that they were only aware of acute watery diarrhea cases in a community that was locked by water in Gudba last week. You are watching The Transition on Atlantic Television Network. We'll return shortly after this break. Do stay tuned. Welcome back to Transition News on Atlantic Television Network, and now to the rest of our stories. National Security Advisor Nuhu Ribadu says that President Bola Tinubu has assented to the bill for the establishment of the National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons. Ribadu, who disclosed this at the workshop on gender mainstreaming in preventing the proliferation of small arms and light weapons in Nigeria and the West African sub-region on Tuesday in Abuja, said that the workshop was organized by the National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons. He was represented by the Director of External Affairs, Office of the National Security Advisor, Ambassador Ibrahim Babani, adding that the President's assent to the bill was a major milestone in the government's commitment to curbing the proliferation of illegal arms, while the legislative backing strengthens the center's mandate and paves the way for more coordinated and decisive action. Ribadu also stressed on the need for gender mainstreaming in preventing the proliferation of small arms and light weapons in the country, adding that the workshop was anchored in key international frameworks, including United Nations Security Council Resolution 1325, while the resolution emphasizes the critical need to protect women from the impacts of conflict, while also ensuring their full participation in peace-building and security initiatives. Ribadu commended the Center for its efforts towards addressing the proliferation of small arms and light weapons in Nigeria. Office of the National Security Advisor has announced the appointment of Honorable Ojukaye Flag Amakri as the new Director of Energy Security. The role comes as part of the government's commitment to ensuring a stable, sustainable, and secure energy supply for all Nigerians, adding that the new Directorate of Energy Security in the Office of the National Security Advisor will focus on policy coordination, infrastructure protection strategies, as well as data management, security coordination, risk advisory, and strategic alliances in the energy sector. Honorable Flag Amakri brings over 20 years of experience in business, politics, and engagement with the energy sector, with a proven track record of leadership in both public and private sectors, particularly in the Niger Delta, and will oversee key national energy security initiatives aimed at enhancing energy security, as well as strengthening community participation in safeguarding Nigeria's energy resources to support short and long-term energy sustainability. A statement signed by the head strategic Zakari Mediawa said that as the new Director of Energy Security in the Office of the National Security Advisor, Honorable Flag Amakri will work closely with various stakeholders, including government ministries, security agencies, regulators in the energy sector, international partners, and community leaders to implement innovative solutions to Nigeria's current and future energy challenges. Honorable Flag Amakri holds degrees in management and is an alumni of the Lagos Business School, and the appointment underscores President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's commitment to strengthening energy security and resilience while addressing supply chain concerns. And National Security Advisor Malam Nuhu Ribadu congratulates Honorable Flag Amakri on this appointment. National Assembly has called for tax payments by multinational companies and global billionaires globally to support African countries battling climate change impacts, and particularly victims of the recent flooding in Borno and Zamfara states. The Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Benjamin Carlo, and leader of the Nigerian delegation to the ongoing special sitting on the committees of the Pan-African Parliament in South Africa, made the call on Tuesday on behalf of Nigeria, while the Deputy Speaker, who regretted the recent flooding in Borno, Zamfara states, adding that the climate tax is to help mitigate the impacts of climate change on the continent. A statement by the Chief Press Secretary to the Deputy Speaker, Livinus Mwabwehiho Carlo, was quoted as saying that Africa is disproportionately impacted by the climate change, despite contributing just 3.8% to the global share of greenhouse gas emissions, in contrast to 23% by China, while 19% by the United States and 13% by the European Union, stressing that climate change undermines Africa's progress towards sustainable development goals, hindering economic growth and human well-being. Gallo underscored the critical role education plays in shaping the continent's future, while aligning it with African Union's goals under Agenda 2063, and also decried the unconstitutional changes in government, describing coups and unconstitutional transitions as threats to the continent's democratic progress. As part of measures to prevent extortion and enhance service delivery, the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board said that it has concluded arrangements to fully automate its services to reduce physical contact with candidates. The JAMB Registrar, Professor Ishak Oloyede, said that the development has become important given that many of the candidates who take the UTME are underage. He urged students who had accused some JAMB officials and other operatives, such as CBT centers of extortion, in the name of regularization or other services, to provide credible evidence, adding that any staff found culpable would face the full wrath of the law. Professor Oloyede commended the staff of the board for their honesty and diligence, saying a businesswoman, Ifeanyi Eke, filed a 100 million naira lawsuit against JAMB and 3 others before the Federal High Court in Lagos over alleged unsolicited and inappropriate text messages sent to her and her 15-year-old daughter, and joined as co-respondents in the suit are Island Computer College Limited, One Jibola and Regina Bassi. He also said that on January 29th, JAMB announced the arrest of some registration officers of the computer-based test center in connection with a social media outburst by a mother who alleged that her 15-year-old daughter was being approached by a staff of the center via a chat on the X platform. Director General, National Youth Service Corps, Brigadier General Wadi Ahmed, has implored corps members to accept postings to the different communities and various places of primary assignments in good faith and quickly settle down to the task of nation building in their respective places of primary assignment. General Ahmed, who disclosed this at the closing ceremony of the 2024 Batch B Stream 2 orientation course at the Magaji Dan Yamusa NYSC Permanent Orientation Camp in Kefi, Nasarawa State, advised the corps members to focus on making positive contributions in their host communities and serve as exemplary ambassadors of their families, adding that their impact contributions to the development of their host communities will perpetuate the continued relevance of the scheme. Director General, National Youth Service Corps, Brigadier General Wadi Ahmed, also implored corps members to accept postings to the different communities and various assignments in good faith and quickly settle down to the task of nation building in their respective places of primary assignments. Chief of Air Staff Hassan Abubakar has disclosed plans to deploy a quick response wing to the northwest region of the country to enhance military presence in vulnerable communities. A quick response wing in the Air Force refers to troops on standby, ready to respond to emergencies. A statement by the Deputy Director of Public Relations and Information for the Nigerian Air Force, Group Captain Kabiru Ali, disclosed this during an operational tour of the air component of Operation Hadarin Daji and the 213 Forward Operating Base in Katsina State. He stressed the need for a comprehensive strategy to achieve lasting peace, noting that kinetic actions alone cannot eliminate insurgency and also assured the state governor Diko Rada and his men that his men will continue to protect farmers in the state. The Chief of Air Staff assured Governor Rada of the Nigerian Air Force's continued support of protecting farmers during the upcoming harvest season, while emphasizing the importance of safe and productive agricultural activities to the Katsina State economy, and expressed confidence that the efforts to protect farmers and the increased military presence in high-risk areas will ensure a safe environment for the new harvest season. The governor also expressed optimism that the planned farmers' protection operations and increased military presence in vulnerable areas will foster a more secure environment for the upcoming harvest season. Chairman of the Police Service Commission, DIG Hashimu Arugungu, has called for a review and amendment of the criminal justice system administration in Nigeria. This, according to him, would not allow victims of crime to be treated as mere witnesses when they are injured, adding that there was an urgent need to rebalance the justice rights of victims of crimes, insisting that Ikechukwu Ani, head press and public relations, in a statement said that DIG Arugungu spoke at the review and validation workshop on the draft toolkit for enhancing the capacity of police oversight bodies organized by the United Nations Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights in collaboration with the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, held in Abuja. The PSC chairman said that the victims suffer pain, shock, humiliation, loss of control, and powerlessness at the hands of their offenders, adding that if victims are injured and the offenders cannot pay reparations, it should be their right to be afforded compensation from the state and federal government, adding that their rights to participate in criminal court processes with legal representation to protect their safety. The IG Arugungu also told his audience that in tackling human rights violations, the Commission is going to pay much attention to the complaints, especially in the area of abuse of law enforcement powers, particularly those of arrest, detention, interrogation, as well as general treatment of suspects. Adding that issues of land matters, rent matters, marital, contractual agreements issues are purely civil matters, and the complainants should be advised to go for civil suits. In view of the health sector in Nigeria and world at large in making the World Patient Safety Day, which is annually observed on 17th September every given year, with aim to raise global awareness about patient safety and call for solidarity and united action by all countries and international partners to reduce patient harm in the hospitals and various health centers. Our correspondent Joseph Moses Yinka who visited Garki Hospital in Abuja, completes the reporting highlighting the significance of correct and timely patient diagnosis in Nigeria.
Global Patient Safety Day is an idea of World Health Organization. This year World Patient Safety Day is marked with the theme Diagnostic for Patient Safety, and the slog says, "Get it right and make it safe." To diagnose a patient means to identify a patient's health problem and is a key to assessing the care and treatment they need. A diagnostic error is the failure to establish a correct and timely explanation of a patient's health problem, which can include delay, incorrect, and misdiagnosis. Diagnostic safety can be significantly improved by addressing the system-based issues and cognitive factors that can lead to diagnostic errors. Systemic factors are organizational vulnerability that predispose to diagnostic errors, including communication failures between health workers and patients, involved clinician training and experience, as well as predisposition to biases, fatigues, and stress. The World Health Organization (WHO) promises to continue to work with all stakeholders to prioritize diagnostic safety and adopt a multi-phased approach to strengthening systems, design safe diagnostic pathways, support health workers in making correct decisions, and engage patients throughout the entire diagnostic process. On the part of Nigerian health workers, Atlantic Television Network had a chat with Dr. Elites and a patient in a ward at the Garki Hospital. This is what they have to say about patients' safety in Nigeria.
The word diagnosis simply means identifying the cause of this patient's problem, ensuring patient's safety. Is actually one of the components of medical ethics. Alright? The medical ethics has four components. Causing no harm to patient is one of the components. So it's ensuring that first of all the doctor has received a training in managing patients. So it's expected that your treatment or your training should have equipped you in making a right diagnosis that is safe and beneficial to this patient. Okay. And secondly, the working environment of this. The facilities is expected to be well equipped with what is required to make diagnosis or to identify what the problem is with the patient that presented to the facility. So in bringing it down to this facility, I can tell you that it's one of the facilities that patient safety is one of the utmost priority. Just to Gariki Hospital, Abuja, where I work, we don't condone such statements like you come to a hospital, you don't have a patient, you don't have a doctor or a nurse to attend to a patient. It's obtainable wherever other, probably in the other general hospitals, but as far as Gariki Hospital is concerned, it is not obtainable. We don't condone that, right? You cannot not see a doctor presenting at this facility. However, in other hospitals where it is obtainable, it has been proven that with the current trend of health workers exodus, migration, they have actually depleted. You see a doctor trying to see a huge number of patients, one doctor. They don't expect efficiency in such management. So it is a gap that is already existing in the health sector. So to improve that, one, you need to employ more hands in the health sector, both the nurses and the doctors. It improves both the diagnosis and the safety. A doctor that is seeing, one doctor seeing close to 200 patients in a day, it's stressful. Exhaustion will come in at a point, the efficiency drops, and then safety is not guaranteed at that point. So I think putting more hands or trying to encourage doctor by good immersions to keep them, it's very important, both for the doctor and for patient safety. It's something that is not supposed to happen. Okay? As a result of, or a system that's supposed to be in place call it drug revolving fund. You understand? So it tries to put a check from time to time on the medications available so that I don't run out of medications available. However, in a very high-paced, busy facilities like this, where there's loads of patients coming in, it can occur because of the density of patients coming to the facility. But at the same time, as regards to emergency drugs, I must tell you it's not obtainable. Most of the times, the emergency drugs are available. That's why it is called an emergency drug. But routine drugs and all other general outpatients, departments, medications for stable patients, because of the population, that's not an excuse, but it is the simplest factor that causes such to this facility.
World Patient Safety Day, and we are just asking questions to know how improved is our hospital in ensuring our patients' safety. You have been in this hospital, you have been treated, you have been attended to, you have been given medication. How are you feeling? And can you tell us how safe you have been in this place?
From 2018, and over the years, honestly, this time around when I came back, the services were very good. I noticed the doctors were more friendly, they were more patient with us, because I came in through the emergency ward, and we had a lot of emergency cases and no bed space. They were willing, they still took people in. They would start the treatment maybe in the wheelchair, chairs, on the stretchers. And for me, I think that is good, because we used to have issues with, I've noticed that was the first time I came, sometimes patients would come and they are turned back. But this time I didn't see anything like that. And I noticed that they were patient. We have some patients that, will just not control because of the pain. I was in the emergency for about a week. So I saw a lot, and I respected what they did. The nurses are friendly. They speak nicely to us. Although sometimes, human beings, we want something now. Maybe they're attending to somebody. I've heard some people complain, I called you, you're not here, they're with someone else. So, but apart from that, I think I give Gerke Hospital a retry. They're really doing well. I don't know the orientation he gave his doctors and the nurses, but I have been treated very well here.
Do you still think there's any way of improvement in terms of their services and attending to the patients?
Okay, there's always room for improvement. There's always room for improvement. I think they can improve too, still. There's nothing wrong with improvement, but where they are now, they have a pass mark. So, and I believe whatever he's doing, if he continues like this, it will keep getting better. And one other thing I noticed too, their relationship with, I'm on NHIS, their relationship with those of us on NHIS has improved too. Because initially when you come and you're on NHIS, it takes longer before they can get approvals from your service provider. It'll keep you for hours, you're in pain, and then initially, but this time around, the response is almost immediate. So I don't know what they did, but I think they can keep it up. Yes. Thank you so much. My name is Susan Thomas, and I work with NAPTIP. Amen.
Okay. And now to some business news. Federation Accounts Allocation Committee announced on Tuesday that it disbursed 1.2 trillion naira to the federal government, states and local government councils for August. This total includes statutory revenue of the 186 billion naira and value-added tax revenue of 533 billion naira, along with electronic money transfer levy revenue of the 15 billion naira and exchange difference revenue of 468 billion naira. According to a communique released after Tuesday's meeting, total revenue available for August amounted to 2.2 trillion naira. Deductions for collection costs were 81.9 billion naira, while transfers, interventions, and refunds reached 992 billion naira. And the communique further stated that gross statutory revenue for August was 1.2 trillion naira, reflecting a drop of 165 billion naira from July's 1.3 trillion naira. VAT revenue for August totaled 573 billion naira, down 51.9 billion naira from July's 629 billion naira. From the total distributable revenue of 1.2 trillion naira, the federal government received 374 billion naira, while state governments received 422 billion naira, and the local government councils received 306 billion naira and 99 billion naira, representing 13% of mineral revenue was allocated to benefiting states as derivation revenue. Moving on, petroleum marketers in Nigeria say that they are standing in limbo over the controversy surrounding Dangote refinery premium motor spirits pricing as released by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited on Monday. According to Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority latest data, this comes as petroleum marketers demanded that Dangote refinery should disclose the price it sold petrol to NNPCL for transparency, and the country cannot depend on domestic petrol production to satisfy its daily consumption, which stood at 50 million naira. The president of the Petroleum Products Retail Outlets Owners Association, Billy Gillis-Harry, and the president of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, Abubakar Maigandi, who made this demand in a separate interview, said that the new petrol prices show that petrol will be sold at 950 naira per litre in Lagos. Oyo and other southwest states will pay 960 naira per litre for petrol, while Federal Capital Territory, Kaduna petrol price will stand at 999 naira per litre. Also in Imo and Rivers State, the price of petrol will be 980 naira, while Borno State will pay 1,019 naira per litre, and the pump price of petrol at the independent marketers filling station usually surpasses that of NNPCL retail outlets by over 100 naira, which may bring the price of fuel to around 1,200 naira per litre. And viewers, that's the size of the package. Thank you for joining us. I am Raymond Ken Mbata. Follow us on our social media platforms, Atlantic TV Net on Twitter, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, on Instagram, Atlantic TV Network. Peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for Society Watch coming up next.